If you were on the internet around 2021, you've definitely seen or heard about Iceberg images. They range from lost media to real-world history to, of course, video games, but the more obscure you get, the deeper the iceberg goes. I recently found an Iceberg image for one of my favorite games of all time, Hatsune Miku Project Diva. I liked a lot of what I discovered thanks to this, so I decided to do a video on it. Everything on this iceberg will be covered, along with a few topics I threw in where I felt they fit. So I don't talk your ear off immediately, let's dive into the iceberg of Project Diva. Arcade feature tone. Project Diva Arcade was, you guessed it, an arcade game of Project Diva that released in 2010, exclusive to Japan and other Asian countries. 3 years later, it got a sequel in the form of Project Diva Arcade Feature Tone, also exclusive to Asian countries. Arcade Feature Tone featured a bigger variety of songs, as well as updated controls to the machine. 3 years after that, AFT was ported to the PS4, and the name was shortened down to Project Diva Future Tone, keeping the same controls and most of the song list of Arcade Feature Tone. Gumi. In all of Project Diva, save for a few exceptions, the main playable characters are the ones created by Krypton Future Media, meaning Miku, Rin, Len, Luca, Mako, and Kaido. However, in Project Diva's 3DS spin-off, Project Mirai, Gumi, a Vocaloid from Internet Co. Limited, makes a guest appearance in Project Mirai DX, and even comes with playable songs. These songs are Invisible, Happy Synthesizer, 1-2 Fan Club, and Mariashka. Ievan Polkka tutorial. Ievan Polkka has to be one of the most notable Vocaloid songs out there, and it wasn't even originally a Vocaloid song. The song is playable in Project Diva's 1, Dreamy Theater 2nd, both arcade games, and Feature Tone. But from Project Diva 2nd onwards, Ievan Polkka doubly acts as a tutorial for new players, to teach the controls of the game. In Project Diva F2nd, there's even 2 versions of the tutorial, one for basic controls, and one for an introduction to the extreme difficulty mode, after beating a song on hard mode. Fun fact, by the way, the Miku here is known as Hatsune Miku. You know her as the leak spin meme from Ievan Polkka. Derivatives. Derivatives, also known as fanloids, are Vocaloids created by the fans. What sets them apart is that fanloids use pre-existing voice banks for their own voices. For example, the fanloid Akita Neru's voice tends to be portrayed with a high-pitched Miku voice, or a low-pitched Rin voice. 3 fanloids have even become so popular, they were included in Project Diva as playable modules. They are Akita Neru, Yowane Haku, and Sakine Meiko. Sega references. With Sega being the developer for Project Diva, it's no surprise they would want to include some references to their past games. Unlockable modules include references to Virtua Fighter, Puyo Puyo Tetris, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Project Mirai DX also has a Puyo Puyo minigame called Puyo Puyo 39, and more recently, Project Sekai has a Sonic the Hedgehog costume you can customize characters with. Project Diva F World's End Dance Hall. The PV used in Project Diva F for the song World's End Dance Hall is much different than the one from the arcade games, Feature Tone, and Megamix. The one in Project Diva Arcade features the live dance version of the song, while the one in Project Diva F is a story-based PV, and follows Miku and Luca having a dance-off. Something like this isn't too uncommon for the F games, having different PVs than the ones used for past games. F was the first international Project Diva game, so for my assumption, Sega just wanted to change up some of the PVs to make them more appealing to the larger market. The Ultimate Medley. The Ultimate Medley is the final medley in Project Diva X that you have to play to beat the story mode. From that logic, it's also the hardest to beat, especially on extreme difficulty. It contains 5 of the Project Diva series' fastest songs. They are, in order, The Disappearance of Hatsune Miku, Two-Sided Lovers, Sadistic Music Factory, 2D Dream Fever, and the Intense Voice of Hatsune Miku. Intense Voice EXEX. The Intense Voice of Hatsune Miku is one of multiple songs that received an extra extreme difficulty setting on Project Diva Feature Tone and Arcade Feature Tone. Despite that, Intense Voice on EXEX difficulty is notorious for being the most difficult song to beat in all of Project Diva. At a close second is EXEX Demperadigem. Play both at your own risk. Survival Courses. Survival Courses are a mode you can access on Project Diva Feature Tone. If the players purchase both Feature Sound and Colorful Tone, they can hold down the left and right triggers to access the survival courses. These courses consist of a series of songs that the player has to beat back-to-back in randomized order. They have no effect on your main menu score, but they are fun if you want a bit of a challenge. Rush Notes. Rush Notes were a type of note only used in Project Diva X. They required the player to button mash a certain note as fast as possible to rack up points. Interesting fact, despite there being star notes in Project Diva X, The only instance of a Star Rush note is in the song Love Trial. Dreamy Theater. Project Diva Dreamy Theater acts as the PS3 extension to the original PSP games. It had updated graphics while keeping the original PSP charts. Like the PSP games, Dreamy Theater had a 1, a second, and an extend. While the first run required a connection to the player's PSP at all times, second and extend only required one connection to the PSP for access to the player's save files. Dreamy Theater Extend even included a mode where players could watch virtual recreations of concert songs performed at Miku's 2012 39 Giving Day concert. Persona 4 Dancing All Night. In the PS Vita game Persona 4 Dancing All Night, Miku makes an appearance as a DLC character. She performs the song Heaven, ALTOS remix in-game. Her outfit in Persona 4 is also available as an unlockable module in Project Diva's AFT, X, Future Tone, and Megamix. Missing PVs. In the original Project Diva for the PSP, there are 5 songs which initially don't come with PVs, instead featuring slideshows and Miku fan art. I'm Your Diva, Ievan Polkka, Electric Angel, Requiem for the Phantasma, and the disappearance of Hatsune Miku make up this list. This was most likely due to time constraints, as in Dreamy Theater, all of these songs come with PVs instead of slideshows. 1-2 Fan Club. 1-2 Fan Club is a song in Project PMDX that can be played if Gumi has been unlocked as a character. The original song features Gumi and Rin on vocals. However, the song is also featured in the quirky medley in Project Diva X, where Miku and Len cover the song instead. Project Mirai AR cards. If one purchased a physical copy of Project Mirai DX, they would have also received a set of AR cards that they could scan with the 3DS's AR camera. Of course, they're also available to download and print if you lost the cards or purchased the game digitally. Project Mirai Senbon Sakura. The song Senbon Sakura was removed from Korean localizations of Project Mirai due to the song's political themes. It has also been removed from the Korean localization of Project Diva, along with the song Oedo Julianite from Future Tone and Megamix, due to what I assume is that song's glamorization of early Japan, but take that with a pinch of salt. Deep Sea City Underground. This was a typo in the original release of Project Diva Future Tone. The song Deep Sea City Underground was accidentally misspelled and shown as Deep Sea City Underground. It has since been fixed. Kagamine Hachihachi Flower Fight. The song Kagamine Hachihachi Flower Fight was only ever featured in Project Diva's F2nd and Arcade Future Tone. It's never made an appearance outside of these games for an unknown reason. The most speculate it's due to licensing issues. Leaked Demo. This one's interesting in the context that it's also lost media. Back in 2008, when Project Diva was still under development, Sega accidentally leaked a demo for the game on their website, only to take it down a few minutes later. According to the Lost Media Wiki, the demo was much different in terms of UI and features than the finished game. Project Diva could have had plans to include a story mode, which Project Diva X later had, online multiplayer, and free DLC. The songs Black Rock Shooter and Flowers for You Songs for Me were also supposedly playable songs in the demo, but the former was never used officially until Project Diva F, and the latter was never used outside of this demo. The lost media comes in the form of being able to play the demo in the present day, which fans are still trying to accomplish. Change Me, Project Mirai. In the files for Project Mirai, there's an unused stage that looks similar to the one used for the song Change Me in Project Diva. This could indicate the song was going to be featured in Project Mirai, but was cut out. Phantom Thief F. There's an unused song name in the files of Project Mirai DX called Phantom Thief Concert, which fans have been led to assume means the song Phantom Thief F would have been a featured song in the game. What's notable about this song is that it features Gakpo, Mayu, and Iya on vocals, who, like Gumi, are not Vocaloids produced by Krypton. This has also led fans to speculate that other non-Kryptonoids would have been playable characters, but were also ultimately cut out. Sakura no Ame Standard Edit. In the original Project Diva for the PSP, there's a song called Sakura no Ame Standard Edit. It differs from the version of Sakura no Ame seen in F2nd onwards, as Standard Edit has a different song arrangement and PV altogether. The Standard Edit version was never seen outside of the original Project Diva, not in any games before F2nd, and it was also strangely left out of Dreamy Theater. $39.39 megabytes. The file size of Dreamy Theater 2nd is 3939 megabytes, or 3.9 gigabytes. This part of the Iceberg could also be a reference to a Miku-styled memory stick released with Project Diva 2nd that also had a capacity of 3.9 gigabytes. The number 39 is significant because Miku is one of the ways 39 is pronounced in Japan, either as Sankyu or Miku. Both pronunciations have led to multiple puns by fans, including in the names of songs, and is also why Miku herself is typically associated with the number 39. If you didn't know that, now you do. Project Mirai Leia. References to the song Leia can be found in the files of the original Project Mirai, including a Luca module, code, and text graphics. What's really surprising is that while the song and assets went unused, in Project Mirai 2, some of Leia's code was not only present, but updated. This means there could have been plans for Leia to appear in either game, but was cut for time. Disappearance Encore Mode. In the files of Dreamy Theaters 1 and 2nd, AFT, and Feature Tone, there's an unused difficulty mode for the disappearance of Hatsune Miku called Encore. The way the mode works is that every time the song is selected to be played, certain notes are completely randomized. It's unknown why this mode was never used, or if any other songs would have used this mode. If you're curious, I'll leave a link to the mode being played, since people have modded it to AFT. And that's all there is to the Project Diva Iceberg. I know I'm not the first ever to make an Iceberg video, and also not the first to make one on this particular Iceberg, but I hope you like it anyway. And if you did, make sure to show some appreciation. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!